Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope it's. Oh, look at that sun. Beautiful. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. It is match day and it's live. Good morning. Good. I'm not used to these early starts. Hope everyone is safe and well. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone had a nice weekend so far. Hopefully, West Ham won't ruin it. Obviously, we play Fulham here in a few hours' time. Um, can go to sixth with a victory today because of Man United failing yesterday. Newcastle, Spurs can do us a favour, could they really? But Burnley did us a favour in terms of the bright result. But very much the race for Europe is on. As we said, based on who wins the FA Cup, it will be seventh. If either Manchester clubs, well, actually, yeah, depends if Man United finish now. Man United need to finish sixth. Really? Do they need to finish sixth? They need to finish fifth, really. I think I have to go and have a look at the permutations, really, because if Man United don't qualify for Europe in the league, they'll and they win the FA Cup, then that means they will go into Europe, maybe at the detriment of a seventh place team potentially. Need to check. Also, saw as I was walking across the bridge, saw a subscriber. It's his son's first match today. Little Jackson, he looks absolutely buzzing in a full kit. He had his ball. They're probably walking around the stadium now, so we might bump into him. But it was lovely to see, and it's when you see things like that, you realise actually what football was really about. He was so excited. He was so you know full of enthusiasm. A bit like Anton was on Friday, and that's what it's all about. We play obviously a Fulham side today, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde side. Obviously, we know Bowen's not going to play. We know there might be a slight question mark on Dino. There's likely going to be Fabianski in goal. Obviously, we'll do our starting 11 show a little bit later on, and Anton will be doing the watch along. After that, morning, Adrian. Hope you will. Newcastle running starts to look like back for seventh. Yeah, and that's on the basis of basically we want Man City to win the FA Cup. That's what we need. Morning, MRK original. Percy, good morning to you. And Anthony, good morning to you. Matt's in the house as well. Morning, Russ. Must win game. We need to qualify via the league. We do, but as I said, we do need to watch out on who wins the FA Cup because that's going to be what could screw us over. Because that second European spot, the Europa League spot, in essence, the sixth place, does go to the FA Cup winner. But if the FA Cup winner is in the top four or top five, then it would drop down. So to the next league place, it doesn't go to like the finalist or whatever, like which I think it used to once, didn't it? Greeno, good morning to you, Stuart. Hope you well. 3-0. Sounds good. Job done. Take that. Take that all day in a month of Sundays. Um, we need something, don't we? We need a reaction to Thursday. We need a reaction from the likes of Lucas, Emerson, because obviously they won't be able to contribute to Thursday. But we need to get Thursday out of our head. That's what that whole therapy session on Friday was about for me. Get Thursday out of the way, and then crack on in terms of today because it is very very important. We put the race for Europe sort of fixtures, and I had us down for seventh. I think I finished myself 80, 58, 59 points, something like that. But it did start with a win today, and I do fancy us today. Although we go into Fulham, they've got a player in form. They've got Rodrigo Muniz. In terms of he's just won Player of the Month as well. Marchi, we had a stellar month, so we've got to keep him quiet for sure. And we've seen before they can turn up. Don't forget they turned us over 5-0 at their gaff. So anything is possible. Every game is a cup final. You're totally right, Guido. 6 cup finals now, plus Thursday. And let's see where we go. 18 points still up for grabs, guys. 18 points. We could go on. We could win every game. VAR looks between us, Man United, and VAR. Well, they thought Man United to win. Morning, Russ. Are you well, Ralph? See a draw today. Okay, fair enough. Beautiful sunshine. It's beautiful. Not as warm as yesterday. Yesterday was quite nice. Probably not as warm as where you are, Ralph, at the moment, or not as warm as I'm going to be in about a month's time. Um, but um, but yeah, it's going to be nice. It should be a good day. It should be a good day. I don't. I mean, based on what happens next year in terms of qualification for Europe, it would mean we'd probably get a few more Saturday games back, wouldn't we? So I don't really want that. I'd prefer to be in Europe rather than do that. But anyway, good morning, Alfie. Hope you're well. Don't forget Chelsea there. Yeah, but Barry, games in hand. We can't look at. We can't. What's the word? Second guess those games in hand. It's the points that matter, really. Yes, Chelsea have got 2 games now. They could win both. They could lose both. They could draw one. They could draw both. There's so many permutations. All we can do is win the games and see where we fall out at the end of the season, isn't it, really? I mean, Chelsea are a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde side as well, isn't it? So anything's possible. Really. I think, is it Everton? Do they play Everton? I can't remember. Man U only there by VAR helps them. Big time now is Perry. Totally agree. Peter Jones, good morning to you. Oh God, it's jumped. Let me go back. Flawless. Good morning, mate. 1 win coming up, and all the Moyes haters will shut up. No, of course they won't. Also, because it's Fulham, isn't it? And then Thursday, if God forbid, it'll be like, oh well, yeah. But at the end of the day, we need the fan base unified. Whatever happens in the summer will happen in the summer. But until then, as Mike, I can't remember if you said it, every game's a cup final now. So it's literally, here, away, obviously Thursday as well. That's a cup final, really. So, we've got a minimum of 7 games left now to try and get as many wins on the board as possible. So we need everyone to come together. We need the fans, and the fans will always be here. Thursday is going to be a great result, a great atmosphere here. Whether the result favours us or not, we'll wait and see. But it's going to be a great atmosphere. Today will be good. A little bit damp, a little bit muted maybe because of Thursday, but an opportunity now to get us up to 6 for the first time this year with a win. So we go up to 51 points, I know, if we win today. So we leapfrog Man United and Newcastle in that race for 6. And that's for me is a race for 6. It really is. It's not a race for 7. It's a race for 6 because 6 is guaranteed European football based on any permutations. Because automatically Liverpool have won the Carabao Cup, so that conference spot is 6th spot at the moment. Might not be at the end of the year if Man City win the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup spot goes to 7th. If Man City win the Europa League, the Champions League, and and Aston Villa win the conference, there might be enough coefficient spots to make 8th the conference spot. But that's on the premise of there's so many permutations. I want to focus on 6 for the time being and see where we fall out at the end. They have to play with some honour. They have to play some horror games. That's what I'm clinging onto. I'm turning to Chelsea. Chelsea got really tough running. Really tough running. We should do. Doesn't 8th will get into Europe if we get the 5th Champions League spot and Man City win the if we get the 5th Champions League spot, either Manchester clubs can win the FA Cup and we'd finish 8th. If we don't get that, we need Man City to win it, and then it will still go. It'll go to 7th rather than 8th. It's jumped up again. It's been for ages. So many comments. Thank you. Chelsea have been poor. You're the first to mention him. 4-2 to the Mighty Hammers as Pagey boy. Sorry, I've got my glasses on. I'm one of the Moyes out, and a win won't change that. Yeah, it won't. When Moyes leaves, we'll be fighting relegation. Be careful what you wish for. We'll see what happens, isn't it? Whatever happens, let's be honest. There's going to be a transitional period. I mean, look at Bournemouth. Really, Bournemouth had a transitional period. They changed their manager for a more progressive one. It didn't work for the first few months. In fact, right now was one of the favourites to be sacked. But stick with it, and I think if there's a new manager comes in, it's going to be interesting to see what the narrative happens between the fan base afterwards. 6 games in, half a season in, see how the narrative changes, because it will change. If we're successful, then the Moyes haters will say, "Told you so, told you so." The Moyes inners will be like, "Oh well, it's all going to come crashing." There's always going to be. It's always going to be, what's the word? Opinion, a difference in opinion, and that's fine, isn't it? Because we're all human. We don't. It's like I was watching something the other day, and it's like someone didn't agree with their opinion, so that's it. They're muted. So, well, what's the point? Because actually, the whole idea of this is a community, and people have different opinions. We've got Darren and Flawless, two very different people, and no doubt there's a bit back and forth in the chat between them, but that's fun. Happy Hamlet, do you have TalkSport? No, I'd love to. Yeah, I would. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. That's my dream job. Is to do that on the old radio. But not going to happen, let's be honest. Good morning, Mark. Hope you're well. This year, second tier, which we are in. I saw you we had 3 wins and another good. I know it's a minute. But it's not just that. I mean, you look at the championship. The championship, the top sides in terms of the sides that wanted to go up, and automatically, none of them have won the last 2 games. Another one at the weekend, another one midweek as well. Obviously, congratulations to former Hammer Elliot Lee. Obviously, his Wrexham got promoted into League One for the first time ever in the history, isn't it, or something like that? But back-to-back promotions for Deadpool and what's his face, Rob? We've got give it a rest. But Ralph, you're the other way, mate. You give it a rest as well, because you say it as well. So those in glass houses should not throw stones. I'm just grateful for most with the highest win percentage. I suppose you have to look. Statistics can prove everything, my friend, isn't it? At least you'll have one player resting Alvarez. Yeah, my only thing with Alvarez is he looked really, when he missed a few games, didn't he, for suspension, and he looked that Wolves game looked really off the pace a little bit. So hopefully, that won't be a case today. We can't. We can't. We can't. What's the word? We can't. I can't think of the word. Brains are going to mush. But we all hope you're well, my friend. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. I do apologise. Everyone's talking to each other. I do apologise. Yeah, indeed. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, my way for TalkSport. Correct forecast here today. Do I get 3 points to win? How soon? I don't know, actually. Rush, do you know we average 16 shots? It doesn't surprise you, Mark, does it? Does it surprise you? Nope. Man United, I said, someone was putting a thing on yesterday. They've had 100 and something shots against them in the last 3 games or something ridiculous like that. I'm back. Don't worry, I'm here. And then the silence, indeed. Who turned the lights out? I know. Solar eclipse, you better believe it. Bloody Iranians. We've scrambled, haven't we? They've scrambled today. Yes. For me, I think, look, end of the day, let's see where we all 50p in the meter. Someone, yeah, exactly. Yeah, all right, very funny. For me, it's let's see what happens. You know what I mean? It's we can, and I've said it before. Can we for the next 6 games lay down our swords for all the way to for everyone, just lay down the swords for these next 6 games, because I've said it before. We need to have a really positive end to this season, not to aid, Boys' case of getting a new deal or not or whatever. Look, and I'll say this again because it really pisses me off, right?
every time I put up like, oh, we've been linked with this guy. Oh, yeah, but David Moyes won't play him because under age 25. People, will you get it into your heads, right? What happens next season? Whoever is in the dugout is the head coach. Is not a manager. They have to report to Tim Steindl. They have to work with his philosophy, work with the players he brings in. Obviously, there will be consultation with the head coach. Consultation. But unlike now, where Moyes gets the final veto, that will not happen next season. That won't happen next season. So that's where people, both sides, need to think about that. Because I get, like, literally, and I spend half an hour replying to all the comments and say, what's the point being linked with this young lad? He's not going to be played under David Moyes. Get it out of your heads. People are so like tunnel visioned. This next year is going to be different in terms of how we're going to say, in terms of what we're going to do, in terms of the setup. It's going to be different. Now, is David Moyes going to be head coach? Could be. He could not be. I think the likelihood is he won't be, because in terms of what he'll have to do, he'll have to report to Tim Steindl. He's, hopefully, this will be the last manager at West Ham. Moving forward, it will be head coaches, and that's the thing. It's moving to a more continental style of management in terms of managing a football club, in terms of managing a football team, coaching a football team, and that's it. And that should be exciting. That should be exciting. But if we can all get behind the team for the next half a dozen games and get us into Europe next year, that will benefit the new head coach. And that new head coach could be David Moyes, or it could be, I don't know, Arnie Slot. It could be Will Steele. It could be someone we've never heard of. So, yeah, indeed. Right, let's go for some more comments. The game today, do we totally agree. Russ, do you go all the way back? Oh, of course, Darren. I go all the way back to Hornchurch, do the starting 11 show, then come back here for the game. I'm all over the place. This is where style doesn't matter. That's what I mean, Mark. For me, it's not about whatever happens, because if we grind out a 1-0 win today, that's what we need. If, God forbid, on Thursday we win 3-0, that's what we need to do. It's not about performance now. To be honest, it's never been about performance under David Moyes, is it? It's about results. That's what Moyes ball is based on. And to be fair, if you're looking at the last 3 years as a whole, he's had more wins than losses. So he has and actually he has won a European trophy, which is something which we haven't. He's won a trophy, regardless of whether you think it's Mickey Mouse trophy or not. Looking at it as a retrospective, before then, we wouldn't even dream about Europe. In all honesty, we lost to Astragugu under Slaven Bilic. Astragugu and that Slaven, and we lost in sort of back up some Park as well to shitty sides as well. So look, it's in terms of these last few years, I think we've had a really good run, and we probably are batting where we should be batting now, where previously I think we were batting well below where we should have been. We're probably where we should be as a club now, and I don't think we were that under Slav. I don't think we were that under Pellegrini. I don't think we were that for the last 20 years, really. But these last 3 years, maybe we've actually switched the dial a little bit and got into a place where we should be. Is the football exciting to watch? No. Do we want to play more exciting football? Of course you do. And I'm not saying we can't have exciting football and results, but the thing is, over the last 1,000 games, David Moyes has not played an expansive style of football. He has not played an exciting sort of, so it's not going to change. So actually, let's all just assume that that's the case and move along and just get some points, because we want to be in Europe, because we want to keep our best players. We want to be attractive. We want to have the money in, because also don't forget we bring in profit, and profit means in terms of what we can spend for PCI and FFP. So the higher you are in the league, the more money you get. The higher you are in the league, the more you can get into Europe potentially, and the money involved in that. Simples. So points winning. Oh, he's done this. Oh, but he's done this. It means fuck all at the end of the day, isn't it? Football in its entirety is about, in its simplest form, football is about winning, isn't it? And ideally winning a trophy. I mean, we're all delusional West Ham fans, because until the last 40 years, we haven't won fuck all anyway. So we have always been delusional. So now I've actually won something. I've seen us win something in my lifetime now. Is that enough for me? Could well be. Could well be. I might never see us win something again, but I've seen us win a trophy. And I can and who was the manager at the time? David Moyes, who lifted that cup, Declan Rice. So there's always going to be sort of stitched into the modern history of West Ham. A team that exactly, and it's been that way for the last, say, 2.5 years. The first season under Moyes, in terms of the second sort of stint, defensively very strong. With Nick Gaines 1-0, particularly in the COVID years. I remember walking out of here. This was my car park. I literally had my car parked about there. And I thought, how did we win that game? And it was like 1-0. It was like 1-0 to the West Ham. We were that sort of boring, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Arsenal had a pedigree by being boring and playing boring football. Under George Graham and sort of stuff like that. But we've shipped a lot more goals, and it was creeping in. You can see it creeping in. I just don't understand it. We need to use our strengths, which is final third. Yeah, I totally agree. I hate to keep banging the same drum, but a lack of. But again, Harper, we know that, but it's always done us over the last 3 years now. Every January, it's done us over. You think back in when we was in the semi-finals of the Europa League against Eintracht Frankfurt in January, if we'd brought in decent reserves, we were running on fumes. Would have been a lot better. Same as last year. A couple of decent stuff would have just helped us get up that league position a little bit higher, I think. And the same now. We're very threadbare. I honestly believe we've got a better starting 11 than we had back then, but we haven't got a better squad. So look, as I said before, if you look back at that Sevilla game, we beat Sevilla here, who were undefeated in the Europa League for God knows how, they'd won it 3 or whatever years in a row. Something like that. Starting 11 that we had was looked like a cup scene, but they could bring on Yarmolenko, Noble, Diop, Ryan Fredericks, good squad players they could bring on, and it might be a case that the types of players we're bringing in now, maybe they are maybe they're more, I don't know, fragile. Maybe they want to be loved a bit more. And maybe under Moyes, the likes of Noble and people like that, they knew their place in the squad. They knew that they could be squad players and wouldn't throw their toys out the pram. Don't forget, Lucas Fabianski threw his toys out the pram earlier this year when he was dropped. Ben Rama's thrown his toys out the pram because he's not getting game time. And there's a lot. Obviously, we only see a microcosm. We see 90 minutes. We don't know what's going on the training ground. We don't know what's going on, behind closed doors. We don't know all of that. We never will be privy to that information. It will just come out as leaks when the club want us to know what's going on with that information. So I think sometimes I don't, and again January, again, it's not just Moyes but Steinton. We've got Billy McKinnon. We've got some very good football people. They would have wanted to bring in these extra people in January. I think partly as well is not a lot of people brought in a lot of people at all in January. I think PCR really fucked people up, and FFP around that time he had Everton had sanction points against them for overspending, and I think everyone literally. I think we spent in January the previous year across the Premier League, was it £900 million? I think we spent about 90 or £100 million at all. So I think there's a lot of things to play with, but it was always a thing with us in January. We just don't invest at the right time. John, hope you're well. No, nothing I can see. Hope to see Kudus get out today, bring in rest. Fair play. Tell them Russian fans. Well, it's not necessarily. Some people always have, and some people have myself and Anton. Anton's probably more even positive than me. I have a positive outlook in life. Always have done. So I know I've. People can have short-term memories, I think, sometimes as well. I remember being relegated on 42 points. I remember being relegated under Avram Grant. I've seen us lose playoff finals, same as a lot of people. And I think sometimes, I think everything has been exaggerated by the move here. If you go back several years, I think if we had that Moyes ball in Upton Park, maybe there'd be slightly less negativity, because there's negativity towards the club anyway because of the move and stuff. So I think it's exacerbated. Sometimes I don't think it's justified, because I think actually people see one thing and put all their eggs in one basket. Same as people who are pro Moyes, they see one thing and put all their eggs in one basket. But I think what we try and do here, at the West Ham Network, is give a broad opinion. So we you know we not allow, but we want people like Ralph and Flawless to have a discussion in the chat. We want happy Emirates to talk about Lackers, because actually that's what's important, because you've all got comments, you've all got ideas, you've all got thoughts which could add to the debate, and that's what it's all about. No one's right, no one's wrong. No one is right and no one's wrong. And I think some people think they're right when there's always but this. Now, no one is 100% right in this discussion. I think everyone has to realise that I'm not 100% right in the discussion, and I don't claim to be. And I will listen to people and come up with if they're and listen to where they're coming from. I totally get it, but I come from a different place, and I'll let you know where I come from. Hopefully with Tim in charge, you won't see the chaos. There still will be, Michael, I think, because I think PCR, FFP still rule the roost. We don't know what's going on with a lot of that, so I think there will still be a lot of that. It seems that the changes that were going to be potentially brought in aren't going to be brought in now next year, so we could be in a similar position. Actually, it puts us in a better position because we've been in Europe, because we maybe haven't spent where we had to, because we've got a very good wage structure as well internally in the club. We're actually quite good in the financial position. And whether that's under Dave Moore, whether that's because of Steindl, whether that's because of we can sort of attribute who that's based on, but we are actually in a quite good position in terms of the sort of PCR, the percentage rules at the moment. Letting Ben Rama 4 now go no replacement never happened. Totally agree. Got to finish. It'll be Fonseca in the summer. Maybe. I did a show about, if you want to know about Paulo Fonseca, I did a show about him. Does play exciting style of football. But again, pros and cons to anyone you bring in. So pros and cons. Someone like Fonseca, obviously never managed in England, so there's a period of adjustment there potentially. To be honest, he was no on the radar at all until he had 3 treble winning years in succession at Shakhtar Donetsk. But that's like, they're the best team in the Ukrainian Super, so they should be winning everything. Had an okay time at Roma, not too great. In Portugal, sort of, he went between all the Portuguese clubs really. Lille is playing some attractive football. I think they're like 5th, aren't they? 6th. We'll see. Rumours are rumours until... Yeah, I totally agree, mate. Well, rumours until you get the social media post now, isn't it? That's what it is, it's the social media post. I hope the new player aligns. Well, he has to, Mark. So, what happens, when the new head coach... When the new head coach is appointed, they will have to align their playing style to work with the Tim Steindl's philosophy. Now, and that includes formation and things like that. As you said, in 18 to 21s, they play a 3-4-3, high press attacking football. So maybe they're sort of working on that. Because again, when we say Moyes isn't giving new team chance, the trouble is the way the team is set up at the moment. For someone like George Earthy to come in, he doesn't know how to play. He doesn't play a 4-2-3-1. He plays a 3-4-3. Same as Lewis Orford, same as Ollie Scars. So when they come in and play and sort of, pushed into the first team, they were hiding to nothing already. So it needs a strategy which runs all the way through from under 6s, under 8s, whatever, all the way up. So everyone knows the West Ham philosophy. It needs to come through, and that's why someone like Tim Steindl and someone like Mark Noble, we need to work close together. So obviously Noble has a bit more sort of jurisdiction in terms of the academy, so you need that sort of pathway, which he talks about so candidly. He was linked to the Sunderland job, wasn't he? But I think he's likely to leave in the summer anyway. Again, we'll still, he's a West Ham fan, great. But apart from Stade Rennes, he hasn't had any experience outside of his team. He's only managed one side, and in fact, he sort of fell into that really. Yes, but there's always a but with everything. It's like everyone you pick will not be the right decision for everyone. there will not be a person who comes in, unless it's, I don't know, a Pep Guardiola, that everyone will go, that's the one. That's the one. They just win the league. Then Moyes is bang on for the post. Yeah, possibly. Because he's nothing but a winner like this. Very pragmatic. Ben, we always have it, mate. We always have quite a pragmatic. You know, I think we need to also know our station as well. You know what I mean? I think, as I said, I think seventh is where that sort of sixth to ninth, sixth to tenth. That's our league. Yes, we might have a season where it just works, and I don't know, like a Man United fuck up and a Chelsea fuck up, and you could creep into that top 5, maybe into the top 4. But the chances are, unless you're taken over by an oil baron, but even that doesn't work now under the current PCR rules. You can't have a go anyway. So it's about maintaining. Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about. I mean, look at Brentford. They're having a shocking season this season now. Brighton have fallen off the pace. Villa are doing well, but that's in a 1 year microcosm. Can they do it again next year? Can they try and break into the top 4? Newcastle, top 4 last year, 7th at the moment, or 6th at the moment, and they might miss out on Europe. So unless you do have a prolonged period of time, even the new coach comes in, they'll have to do it over 2-3 years before you can see real step change in the process. Who's going to play up front? I think Danny Ings might play up front tonight. Do you think he's hedging his bets by not signing a contract? No. I personally think that Moyes has, and this is my, I have no idea, this is what Moyes has, there is a contract there for him to sign. I believe there is, but I believe he has some sort of, or they've had discussions, but it is this head coach job. And I think Moyes is trying to push to win Europa League or something like that to give himself more power in negotiations. That's what I think. But again, I have no justification, just using the old noggin. Do you drive this early? Yes, I do. Because I've got to go in a minute. So we've got to start set up. We need 3 points today. I totally agree. You will see us with as long as Tim and picks the coach? Who knows? Only one side can win the FA Cup each year. Only one side can win the Carabao Cup. Only one side can win the Premier League. That's three teams out of, well, one out of, so you've got 5% chance of winning the Premier League every year statistically. You've got a 1% chance of, or 1.25% chance of winning an FA Cup or Carabao Cup each year. There's 92 clubs in it, so it's pretty much that. We'll get behind the team. Totally agree. Thank you very much. Silver he certainly does. More in Ludders. If we go out of Europe and all negativity, what makes you think Moyes will still get into Europe? Think Moyes will still go for Europe when he's going to be gone in the summer? Just a question. Is he though? Is he like SD? Is he? It's a not just that, but he's not going in football anywhere. So he doesn't want this season to have come to a damn squib because he doesn't look good in his CV for the next job that comes up. Because there will be teams leaving, there'll be championships leaving. The Celtic job might come up, and so you want a good end to the season because that brings that keeps people sort of switched in with him in terms of going forward. Majority of our glass half full, but only extremes get mentioned. Yep, totally agree. I think you're right. As I said, Michael, there's a spectrum, and you hear from people on either ends, but you very rarely hear the people in the middle, which I think is the vast majority. Now, some matches that vast majority goes to one side or creeps either side, but you always hear from the extremists, and they shout the loudest. And because of that, you assume that's how everyone feels. But actually, when you talk to people, they probably don't feel as extreme as that person, or they don't feel they agree with what he said. They might agree with some of it, but not others. And that's life in general. That's why we have different political parties. That's why we have different. That's why we have voting on X Factor and stuff like that, because people have different opinions, and that's what it's all about. With Moyes, it's all about pros and cons, and Moyes there are more cons. With Moyes, there's a few good things he's done, but what's the lot? Yeah, I mean, you're right, Barry. There are pros and cons, and as I said, there'll be pros and cons of everyone. Sometimes the cons list outweighs the pros list. Sometimes it doesn't. I'll always be grateful for David Moyes because his stewardship, under his stewardship, we won a trophy. So I've never experienced in my life. Maybe imagine, Barry. I think you probably have, and and Ralph and many people have, and Peter Jones, and I was around to see. I was born in '81, so I never saw '80. They might have seen 65, might have seen 60. I was never around to see that, so I'll always be grateful for him for that. I'll always be grateful because Declan Rice was the captain who lifted the trophy. Yes, he plays for Arsenal and does that, but I'm still grateful towards him for that. I'm 100% right. Okay. Funniest thing this weekend watching Spurs. Yeah. What about Potter? He's a coach. Yeah. Could be. Again, looking at him, for me, why has he not had any job, been linked with any job since he left Chelsea, though? If he was this great man coach, surely the likes of Palace and and rather than trying to talk to Steve Cooper and stuff, it'd be Graham Potter. He's available, he's ready to roll. That's my only concern with those. I'm going to have to go in a minute. Let's go through it. It's going to be Tony Mulberry. I hope we don't get down. What happens? To be honest, we won I know the under 21s one weekend, didn't they? Under 21s had a lot of had a couple of under 16s play in that game against Norwich. My dude, Adrian Scotland Beckis, he was called up for his debut, 16. Could stand and be out. No. He's out there scouting the next Brazilian wonder kid. Whoever comes in, need a few players to see. Totally agree. Do you think it's a mistake? I agree as well, others. Regardless, I'm excited for what comes indeed. He's also the guy I love, but he was indeed. Looking for next Paqueta, he certainly is. About boys, let's walk and talk. Gonna put my hoodie on. It's a bit nippy, I'd say. It's not nippy. It's hoodie weather today. I haven't done my thing today. I haven't done my weather report, but it's windy. It's a slight nip in the air. I think it'll warm up a little bit. Right, let's put this in there. Let's walk and talk. So I want to get through some of these comments as well. We're going mobile, guys. We're going mobile. Oh, just the type of person. Just the type of energetic guy I am. Do I need my raincoat? I don't know, ladders. I don't know. I think so. But you never know this weather. It's quite windy, so it can be quite changeable. But there's very light, and that's quite blue sky. Just looking on a camera, but it's quite blue sky. So yeah, Patman could still be here. Yeah, that's a good point. He could be. Will he? I don't think so. Did a show yesterday about them making plans for him already, for his replacement. Somerville from Leeds, based on whether Leeds go up or not.
We are now operational with all planned radio channels staffed.
Really?
Any radio operators now commence radio.
And the guy from Kia, I can't remember now, but we did a show about that. So let's see what strike we get in under Scarfy. Scarfy, what? Scarfy. Feel very confident with David Moyes instead of bouncing around. Bouncing on the top. It's true. I mean, it's true. You can't deny the fact that last season was a little bit different. I think last year, personally, and again, to give my own personal thoughts, I think the beginning of the season didn't work very well, and they targeted the Conference League as the simplest way to get into Europe this year, because that was important, and put the eggs all in one basket, really, towards the latter stages. Make sure he didn't go down, and it paid off. Might not have paid off, but it did. Luck more on judgment, who knows? But I think that's what happened. We need centre back, Maguire types. Yep, I agree. Kilman's the one I want in the summer. Kilman and Mavropanos as a two would be great. I think be really exciting. We are linked, or we had been looking at some of the guys at Austria Klumklumklod. The Andy Irvine one as a young lad, 19-year-old centre back, left side of centre back. Apparently, we're looking at. Maybe I'll talk about that more on Monday. Morning, Howard. Going back to Fonseca, does he tend to use youth players? Well, the thing is, again, others, he has. And if you look at his side at Lille, they are a young side. However, League A traditionally use their younger players better than we do in the Premier League. I've said this before. You know, you look at our sides. I think that they're 2 game weeks average. I think across the board in the Premier League for all the sides, something like 8 or 9 of the starting 11s were from the academies, and in France it was approaching 20, I think it was. So naturally the French league is more best because of money. The reason why the French league don't, have a lot of their youngsters in their sides is because of money. The Premier League has so much money. It's cheaper for us to go to France and buy a 17-year-old who's got 50 appearances under his belt than having to get a kid from the age of 10, 12, working through. They might make it, they might not make it. And that's why I think people, bang on the drum about the academy. The academy are great. They're physically not strong enough. And I've seen a lot of the academy up close, and I'm taller than some of them. I've got more physicality than some of them. Technically, they're playing with the park, but I'd lay it on them. You know what I mean? As I said the other day, Lewis Orford is technically miles better, head and shoulders above Tommy Souček, but physically, Tommy Souček would be all over him, and that's the issue going forward. That's what we need to work on, not just for West Ham, but in the Premier League, because we're going to get to a situation where all of our players are foreign based. You look at Jude Bellingham. Case in point, Jude Bellingham could have easily stayed at Birmingham, stayed a couple of seasons, maybe signed for Liverpool, maybe sort of now establishing himself as a proper first team player, but decided to go to Dortmund, and now he's playing for the biggest club in the world and arguably one of their most successful signings ever, from the only perspective, to be fair. So it just shows you we need leadership. Yep, I totally agree, Graham. Several times this season, I'd have liked a Noble or a Declan Rice type character on our pitch, just to calm people down. I mean, case in point, the game against Leverkusen, Paqueta gets a silly yellow. Now, there wasn't a lot of time between the incident and him getting the yellow, but there might have been enough for a captain just to have pulled him back by the collar, just for a minute, just to calm down. And then when he did get the yellow, he almost got the red. So again, captain coming along, just pulling him by his collar, telling him to calm the fuck down. But they didn't. And that's sometimes I get a bit frustrated. You're certainly right. I'll tell what you will. Said his family considerations. I think he may well want to move back to Scotland. We'll see what happens, mate, innit? I don't even want, because he can still play the 11. Again, John, don't forget, the word head coach is not manager. I keep saying this. The word head coach is not manager. As a head coach, he directly reports to Tim Stein. And that's part of the reason why there hasn't been any further negotiations. I am 99% sure of that. Because that's not the way Moyes plays. That's not the way Moyes likes to manage. He likes to be in control. Old school manager. That's when he's told what to do. Wants to play his way. But being a head coach, you're no longer the manager, John. And that's what I keep trying to say to people. Even if he does sign the deal, it would be as a head coach. And don't forget, with that would come KPIs, key performance indicators, and that would be a regular point. Look at the Bundesliga. Look at how many times they sack their managers, 2 to 3 times a season potentially, because that new manager hasn't hit that particular KPI. And that's what I keep saying. The next person who's in that dugout in the summer will be a head coach and not a manager. The only exception would be if we probably. The only exception would be if Moyes wins the Europa League. So then I think he's got enough negotiation power. But can't see it happening. Cannot see it happening, to be honest. Right. I'm looking forward to the season. Towards the end, I certainly did. The ideal for defending. yeah, fair point. Get a hybrid or two. Don't forget, you are right. Last time there was a lot of sickness in the camp. There was a lot of players. Some players were sick. It was our lasagna gate, wasn't it? Really. It's a good point. Oh, so I'm trying to get a good angle. He has been. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I think it's funny. Fans are spending 90% of the time talking about it, when they're getting more and more expendable. They are. That's why you need a head, director of football. Because you're right, the players the managers do get expendable more quickly. But it's having that. I mean, look at Brighton getting rid of Potter and bringing De Zerbi, and actually they've improved since Potter's left. Obviously, he went to Chelsea, but still, you know what I mean. So, 90s boy, I haven't seen this trophy, but I see the way we play. It's still so far. So, Barry, sorry, Barry. We're death sentence, totally right. And Wenger as well. Don't forget as Wenger. He's someone like Unai Emery. A great job he's doing now. At the same point, we have some same goals conceded as we did. Yeah, our keeper's been immense. There's a good vibe of the club now with Moyes in it. Looks good. Totally agree. G'day, Kieran. Look good, if only. Too little, mate. They're too little, mate. I'll be honest. Do you think having so many? Always said that. You need a mix. You need a left-sided and a right-sided centre half. That's why Kilman would come in for me. He keeps calling me Ludders. No, I don't. Younger. Right, going to shower and get ready. At least not getting confused with a bloke. Needs to be told they're amazing. Played a lot more than 20 minutes. So I mean, they need to be playing. More kids need to go out and loan next season. Just see, but the 18s, a lot of the 18 sides played in the 21s, so they really had quite a scratch side out, and a lot of them played the weekend as well, on the Norwich game as well. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We need to expand on that and have a structure. Totally agree. Yes, looking forward to new season. On next season, new beginnings. Looking forward to seeing West Ham play week in, week out. I thought Baroni was the lack of squad depth was brilliant. Who was in charge the last few years? And Dave. Yeah, good point. We completely different approach against England needs to be involved because of suspension. Totally agree. Right, I'm gonna have to go, guys. As a keep on the channel, or I've got to zoom home and do the starting 11 show, and then back here for the game. Anton will be doing the watch along as well. But until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my irons, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. Much love. Bye.